Hello and welcome once again. In the previous module, we had discussed about several object-oriented systems that R offers us. In particular, we discussed about S3 object-oriented system. But in this module, we will discuss about what are the other alternatives that can be preferred over S3 object-oriented system. We will tell you some reasons which compels us to use other object-oriented system like S4 and reference classes. In this module, the discussion will be primarily based on the advantages of S4 object-oriented system with several examples. And in the last part of the discussion, we will show you some examples considering reference classes. So let's see what is there in this discussion. In the previous module, some detailed discussion about S3 object-oriented system was there. Now, the question that arises is that why do we need any other object-oriented system? We have already mentioned some of them in the previous module. So, here we need to find the reasons which compels us to search for any other object-oriented system. And here comes some of the problems with the S3 object-oriented system. From the discussion of the previous module, this is evident that the S3 object-oriented system provides us plenty of object-oriented facilities, but the thing is that it does it very loosely. To know why this is being said, let's think of an example. Suppose we are writing the numbers 1 to say 100 and assigning it to model. Now we are attaching class information with it with the command class of model equals lm. So it seems that it is a linear model. But is it really so? Of course it is not. But actually, we can always do this with the help of S3 object-oriented system. So, it can be dangerous as well as misleading at times, and hence it is not worthy to trust. So, you should always be careful handling this issue. Also, there exist many other things similar to this. So, what do we do? Go for an object-oriented system which will be more formally defined. So here comes the idea of the second member of object-oriented system in R, which is S4 system. S4 works in a similar way to S3, but it really adds some formal flavor to it. John Chambers was the man behind this system. Here, like the S3 system, methods belong to functions. So, where is the difference? The difference lies within the characteristics of the classes. Firstly, here the classes have formal definition from which their fields can be identified. This was not there in S3 classes. And this was the reason why we could attach the class linear models with the model that consists the numbers 1 to 100. The other characteristic of classes is that here it has inheritance structure. Now, what does it mean? It simply means that here the classes have their parent classes which will encapsulate their offsprings. This kinds of idea was discussed in the first module of object-oriented programming. An interesting part here is that here we can use the operator @ to get fields from any S4 object. The system is still in a developing stage, but already it has given us plenty of significant advantages over the S3 system. Now, some aspects are there which you should always keep in mind while using this improved system, which was not there when you were using S3 system. You should always remember that all codes that are related to S4 are stored in the package called methods. Now, when you are running R interactively, then you will not have any problem because the package will always be available in that case. But the thing is that whenever you run this in batch mode, there might be some problem. That is why it is always recommended to include the library methods with library within first bracket methods command at the time of using S4. So, now the question is how to recognize S4 related things like S4 objects, generics and methods. Let's concentrate on S4 objects. These can be identified easily because str of that object will give you a formal class. Is S4 of that object will return you true. That is, the fact that this is an S4 object is true, and also O-type of that object will return you S4. In a similar fashion, generics and methods can also be defined easily as they are S4 objects with well-defined classes. Now, unlike S3, there are not any S4 classes in the commonly used base packages, that is, base, stats, graphics, and so on. So, what do we do? Let's create S4 objects from the built-in stats4 package. You may or may not familiar with this stats4 package. It provides some S4 classes and methods associated with maximum likelihood estimation, that is the estimation procedure which we commonly use. So let's see how it works. Here, after attaching the library stats4, at first we are considering Z to be a vector of 11 elements as it is given here. Then we are defining a function fn which is a function of lambda, and the function will be as given here. Then we want to have the MLE of this function considering the data as Z and storing this within fit. So this is what the whole thing will look like. Now if we ask for is S4 of the object, that is here it is S4 of fit, then R will give us true. That is, it is indeed an S4 object. Similarly, by asking O type of fit, R will give us S4. That is, it is an S4 object. These are the things which we had discussed just a while ago. For an S4 generic, if we type is S4 of n obs, then as expected, true will be shown. And for F type of n obs, S4 and generic will be shown. Now let's see how this is function works here. In a few slides back, we came to know that S4 objects maintain hierarchy. So the question is how to find the parent class or classes of any S4 object. To get this, use is with one argument to list all classes that an S4 object inherits from. You can use is with two arguments to test if an object inherits from a special class. Now let's see how it works. If you type is of fit, then you will get Emily. That is, the object fit inherits from Emily. Similarly, is of two argument fit and Emily will give you true. That is, the fact that the fit inherits from Emily is true. Now, if you want to get the list of all classes that S4 offers us, then you just need to type get classes and let the first bracket open and closed. By doing this, R will provide you the sets of all 124 S4 classes. Again, if you want to have the S4 methods, then write down show methods like the one we have written here and get the S4 methods. You can list all S4 methods with the command show methods. So the thing is that these R codes are very simple and indeed they are very easy to remember. Now, here our objective is to define class and create object for an S4 object system. We all are familiar with these kinds of things for the S3 classes. In those cases, what we did is we just set the class attribute and hence any object turned into an object of a particular class. The thing was very easy, but as we know from the example which we had discussed just at the beginning, this also had some hazards and this might sometimes be misleading. On the contrary, in S4, you need to use the command setClass to define the class representation, and then if you want to create a new object, you need to type the new command. If you want to find the documentation of a class, then type class, then a question mark, and then the class name. Like for example, if you type class, then a question mark, then Emily in the place of class name, then R will navigate you towards the page which contains the documentation of the Emily class. So here comes some more technical issues. An S4 class has three key properties which are names, slots and string. Here, a name is an alphanumeric class identifier. Conventionally, S4 class names use upper camel case. The second element is the slot. It is basically a named list of slots or fields which defines slot names and permitted classes. As for example, if you consider a person as a class, then this class might be represented by two components, the person's name and his age. Now, as we know that the name is a character and age is numeric. So, it is list, then within first bracket, name is equal to character, comma, age is equal to numeric. Now, a string gives the class it inherits from, or in S4 terminology, the class that it contains. You can provide multiple classes for multiple inheritance, but this is an advanced technique which adds more complexity. S4 classes have other optional properties like a validity method that tests if an object is valid and a prototype object that defines default slot values. If you want to have more details, type question mark, then set class. So, let's take an example to have a closer view of the key properties of S4 classes. This example deals with the person class, which we had discussed a little while ago, with fields name and age, and an employee class that inherits from person. So, here the hierarchy comes. The employee class inherits the slots and methods from the person. In addition to that, it adds slot boss. As we had discussed earlier, in order to create new objects, we call new with the name of the class and name value pairs of slot values. So here we go. Here, as it had been said earlier, using the setClass command, we are setting the person class and the slots that have names as characters and age as numeric. Then again the employee class has been created following the same syntax and mentioning that it contains the person class. So now we are defining a new object Radha with name Radha and age 26, which are character and numeric respectively. Similarly, with the object Pritham, we are defining an employee whose name and age are Pritam and 21 respectively, and whose boss is Radha. So, the main thing is that at first create the class, then create objects following the syntax which are mentioned here. But in most of the cases, S4 classes come with a constructor function. These functions bear the same name as that of the class. It is always recommended to use them rather than using this new command. Another thing is that if you want to use slots of an S4 object, then use @ or the slot command. So here comes the idea of creating new methods and generics. This is needless to say that S4 provides special functions for creating new generics and methods. For this, if you use the command setGeneric, then that will create a new generic or converts an existing function into a generic. Set method takes the name of the generic, the classes with which the method should be associated, and a function that implements the method. Let's take an example to demonstrate it. Consider, for example, union. It is usually used for vector operations, but here we are using it for data frames. So, how can that be possible? Here, using the commands that we mentioned earlier, what we do is we are using union for data frames as well. With this note, we are concluding our discussion regarding the S4 object systems. Indeed, there are many things that are left to be discussed, but with these 3 modules that are dedicated to object-oriented programming, primarily our objective is not to discuss about each and every aspect of this. Instead, we want to make you aware some of the parts of the system that you are working with. Now, let's quickly move towards the next member of this system, that is reference classes. Reference classes, which can also be called as RC, are the newest feather to the object-oriented system in R. So, why they are different? Primarily, RC methods belong to objects, not functions. Reference classes are implemented using R code. They are special S4 class that wraps around an object. Again, here also, like S3 and S4, the idea of defining classes and creating objects are being considered. There are not any reference classes provided by the R packages. So, let's create it. RC classes are best used for describing stateful objects, that is, the objects that change over time. So, let's create a simple class to model a bank account. Now, creating a new RC class is similar to creating a new S4 class. The only difference is that here we use setRef class instead of setClass. And what is the argument? The argument is an alphanumeric name. Again, like S4, we can use new to create new RC objects, use the object returned by setRef class to generate new objects. So here, just type this, that is setRef class within first bracket, account within inverted commas, and we are going to have reference class object of class account. Now, setRef class can also act a bit differently. This is quite similar to S4 slots. This accepts a list of name class pairs that define the class fields. The initial values of the field will be set through the additional named argument passed to new, which can be obtained and set using the $sign. Do have a look at the program. Here, the things that we have just discussed are all implemented. So, these are some of the elements of reference classes. Now, here are some of the aspects of which system to pick and why. You can also consider it as a comparative study. S3 is the simplest one among the three and is widely used as well. And for creating more complicated systems, S4 works. Those who are habituated with other object-oriented system, reference classes of R will be easier for them, although it comes with some side effects. So from the last three modules, including this module, we came to know several aspects of object-oriented programming in R, which includes S3, S4 object-oriented system and reference classes. In this module, we had some detailed discussion of S4 object-oriented system and reference classes. We had some examples which elaborated the ideas of these object-oriented systems. So from the next module onwards, we will start the discussion of some other advanced programming structure that R offers us.